Get a fan.
No,
you did say you were gonna figure something out, because I think it was in a weird place that was a little far away.
So you're saying he was really unhelpful?
No, dude, there's just so much.
That's his memory of me and stuff like.
I'm about midweek through leading a trip out here in Kentucky. We got rained on for most of the day, but then we arrived here to our hotel, and I'm currently just waiting to get the keys to my hotel room. So in the meantime, I thought I would provide some context to this business that I'm creating and just give some background about what I'm doing. But first, check out this place that I'm staying. So here we have the patio. We've got this setup going, and there is the main building. Pretty sweet. It's this strange castle hotel here near Lexington, Kentucky. Kind of an odd thing, but I am going to do a little bit of explaining here in my notebook. So I'm gonna flip the camera around for this top-down angle so that I can draw some things out. All right, so this was me 6 years ago. It was 2020. I was a college student at the time, a sophomore specifically, and I was not sure what to do with my life. And out of boredom, I started going on hikes. By the start of my junior year, I accepted a job offer to become an outdoor guide. Here's some trees. So now it's 2021, and I'm working as an outdoor guide down in Phoenix, Arizona for my school. My job was to take other college students on adventures around Arizona, Utah, and California. So I did that for 2 years, right up until I graduated. Here, I'll put a cap on myself. That's me with a graduation cap. And then I graduated college, and I was gonna have to figure out what to do next. Is there a career in guiding? Is it possible to get paid decent for it? I just had a lot of questions about what was going to be happening next. And while I was doing my job search, I had a friend to reach out and say, hey, apply to work for Backroads. Backroads is an international travel company, and you'll get opportunities to potentially travel and get paid to do it. So for the past 4 years now, I have been working with Backroads. And along the way, I learned something pretty important, which is that I do not work in guiding. I work in customer service. Because although a large part of my job is taking people on adventures, hiking, biking, kayaking, whatever fun activity there is, the most important part of my job is actually dealing with people and doing so in a tactful way and making sure that they feel well taken care of throughout the entire process. So customer service is by far the most important aspect of what I do. And it's been such an incredible opportunity. I've had the chance to work in places like Yellowstone, Glacier, Grand Tetons, Zion National Park, Bryce Canyon National Park, Vermont, Croatia, Greece. I'm currently in Kentucky. So essentially what I'm saying is that my skills in customer service allowed me to get a job that has allowed me to travel to all these incredible places. And the great thing about this is that customer service skills are something that can allow you so many incredible opportunities like travel, better pay, better career opportunities, and it's not subject just to guiding trips like I am. There's a lot of opportunities out there, so let's talk about them. So over here you have travel and jobs that are fun, and over here you have customer service or hospitality. And so where travel meets customer service skills is what I call the travel and hospitality industry. The travel and hospitality industry includes sectors like accommodation, food and beverage, transportation, recreation and leisure, travel services. Specific examples of this would be private lodges, large boutique or luxury hotels. Food and beverage could be fine dining, wineries, breweries, catering services. Transportation could be car services, yacht charters where you're working as a crew on a large ship, airline travel, such as being a flight attendant on a commercial or private jet. Recreational leisure could include things like hiking, guiding, whitewater rafting, kayaking, multi-day adventure trips, international travel, or day trips. Travel services would be things such as lifestyle or itinerary planning, travel companies that you can book services online with, or other customer service based jobs where you are providing specific travel planning services. So essentially there are so many great opportunities out there, but there's a few issues. So what's the problem? I'd say there's one of three things. Problem one is that there's generally a lack of understanding. I like to say that people don't know what they don't know until you can open their eyes to it and show them all the possibilities. Problem two would be a lack of specific skill or certifications that you need to get one of these jobs. Generally, customer service skills are very necessary for working in the travel and hospitality industry, and sometimes very specific certifications are needed for safety purposes or training purposes in order to get one of these jobs. So far we have a lack of understanding or a lack of specific skill or certification, which brings us to our third problem, which is lack of educational resources. With a lack of education, you don't have the access to understanding, you don't have the access to learn or gain these specific skills. So generally, unless you have the answer to all three of these things, then you just have to know the right people who can get you a job. But by specifically addressing issue number 3, we can also solve issue number 2 and 1. If we provide educational opportunities, we can teach people what options are out there for them, as well as the skills or certifications that they need to land these jobs. So my goal is to solve problem number 3. So the goal of Key Society is to provide career education through an online platform, which means it is available to everyone, everywhere, to provide awareness of opportunities that are out there for you, specific education around those opportunities. So regardless of if you are working on a yacht, on a private jet, if you're leading mountain hiking, if you are doing travel planning or itinerary creation, then you know what is needed to succeed in the job and land a great career, as well as ongoing career support resources. So how am I going to achieve this? That brings us into our next segment. Now I'm at another hotel. I've got my bags and I've been on the move, but now let's talk about kind of part 2 of this business. All right, it's almost 10 p.m. and I've got to be up at 6 tomorrow morning, so I'm gonna try to keep this as brief as possible, but wanted to go into some more detail about what my plans are for growing this company. Okay, so here is the Key Society, and I've broken it up into 5 main segments for how this company will operate. They are show, which is marketing; stadium, which would be any in-person community event building; solutions, which would be a solutions-oriented aspect that is targeted specifically at businesses for hiring and training; shelf is any products that we sell; and then the most important aspect, which is school, that is the career education resources, and that is the primary function of Key Society. But we'll start with what I think is the most important aspect, which is show. So show is marketing. And I put marketing / trust because I think the two are synonymous. They're one and the same. The reason people create marketing material is You are trying to build trust in a product, trust in a person, trust in a company or brand. And so by creating content, by creating marketing material, I am trying to build trust. And I'm going to do that through two ways. Let's start with the first way. Main channels, which as of right now will be my personal channels, my social media, or YouTube, where I share lifestyle content and building in public content. So what does this mean? Lifestyle is the type of marketing material where I'm just sharing my life and the day in the life of somebody who is working as a guide or who is traveling for work, so that people have a better understanding of what I do and what I can provide for other people. Sort of aspirational career content. Building in public, which is essentially just documenting the process of building a company, and in doing that, others are able to provide feedback on the fly. It's a very short feedback loop. The second aspect of main channel content is going to be eventually the company's social handles to provide educational and community focused content. The second aspect of marketing would be through affiliate channels. Affiliate channels is sort of taking the same elements from our main channels, but working with people who already have established platforms out there on social media, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever it might be, for them to create content on behalf of Key Society, where they can get kickback via affiliate links for referring people to the program. The whole point of our marketing is to direct people to our school, which is going to be an online career education platform. And within this online platform, the core curriculum is everything related to hospitality from a more general approach. It's the body language, the communication skills, the career resources, everything that can be generalized about the hospitality industry. And then once completing the common curriculum, then as a student, you would be able to branch off and find your niche and focus specifically on exactly what you want to learn. So we can take that on over to our third category, which is going to be Shelf. With Shelf, our products, the goal is that they're complementary to our career resources. So we'll have e-guides, books, and workbooks related very specifically to the various career niches within the school, career resources and templates so that students can access resume templates, cover letter templates, have access to a list of all of the companies that are actively hiring within their desired career field. And then there's the certifications, which would allow people to test into very specific skills that shows their ability to excel in customer service, hard conversations, their knowledge of body language or their knowledge of cultural differences that would help their resume look better when applying to jobs. But then category number 5 is Stadium, which would be largely in-person events. So I think one that excites me the most is the idea of doing college lectures or giving talks at universities. I think this is a great way to, one, just give back and provide education resources to people that are at a point in their life where they are actively looking for career opportunities after graduation, as well as just building a greater brand awareness about Key Society with our desired target audience. And then going back to part number 4, solutions. This is something that's very aspirational for the future of this company and not something that I plan to implement for quite a while, which would be taking all the elements of our school and any of the data that we've gathered from working with our students and providing solutions specifically to businesses to improve their hiring and training processes. So all 5 of these categories, show, school, Shelf, solutions, and Stadium, would ideally work together to create the ecosystem of what Key Society is. And so that was definitely way too much information, but I really wanted to go into as much detail as possible early on, just so that anyone who is interested or maybe finding this video sometime in the future can come back to to one of these early videos and see what I was thinking really early on. At this early stage, I'm really honing in on that aspect of show, which is creating marketing material and building trust, and just focusing on creating that content and bringing awareness to what I'm doing, so that when it is time to launch the school and the career education resources, that there's a good backing and good brand awareness, so that people know what we're doing and they're ready to act on actually enrolling in our programs that we offer. So thanks for listening. I hope at least a couple of people found that somewhat interesting, and I'm looking forward to, in the coming weeks, digging into more details specifically about, you know, what I'm doing. But I've got one more week working here in Kentucky, and then I'm taking off for Croatia. So I'll catch you later. I'm going to bed now. It's only 10:14, so I managed to record that somewhat fast, and I'm getting better every day at filming this stuff. Right, thanks for watching.